Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Reese number 797W. This is a roll of self-adhesive weather stripping in white. Polyprene is the material type, and this is what a 25-foot roll looks like. This is going to be available in 17, 19, 21, 25, and 500 feet lengths in a roll. W for white, and it'll be B for black. How does a roll length make sense? Well, 17 is easy. That would be a 7-foot and a 7-foot, two 7-foot jambs and a 3-foot header. If you were doing an 8-foot door, that'd be 19 feet. 21 feet is very commonly going to be your 6070 would work out really good for that. 25 feet, might be an 8080 sort of opening. 500 feet is if you got a whole floor of doors to do, that sort of scenario. Okay. Now, dimensionally, and I have a bit of it pulled out from the end here, and we're going to go over it now. This is the typical teardrop shape material. There is an image below this video showing the important dimensional properties. Let's go over that now. It's 1/2 of an inch, and then it's 1/4 inch. Those two dimensions are the most common for this teardrop shaped material. You're going to use this material when you are doing, here's where you see it. Hotel rooms are smoke, draft, fire rated. This material is smoke and draft control, which is something that you will use so that you are in compliance with the requirement of the opening. Okay, it's also fire rated naturally. This is going to have a relatively low compression. You squeeze that down and it gets down to something very thin. I would not want there to be a smaller than standard margin between the doors. If it was a 36-inch opening, and if your door was 35 and 13/16, I'd say 3/16 total would be the maximum I would want for this. There are low compression material. There are smaller material. There's material specifically intended for a tighter margin. This may not be my go-to choice in that sort of regard. One thing that I do like about this polyprene thermoplastic compound rubber is that it's high performance. Okay, it's going to work very well. It's going to stay stable with extreme temperatures. Obviously, in a hotel sort of application, you'll be more grateful for the profile where you've got that little dimple ridge there. And what that really serves to do is act as a trap between the transmission of acoustical properties. This material is acoustically rated. The little ridges that are shown in the image, which are all but indistinguishable on the end, also serve to increase the surface area. So maybe for a hotel door, it's not an application where you would enjoy all of those benefits, which you certainly would. Another application where you'll enjoy those additional surface areas if you're installing it just to augment existing weather stripping, which I've done many times in the past with great success. You've got a shop on one side of a demising wall, you've got a showroom, the doors get opened up in the summer and the wind comes howling through, carrying acoustical properties, carrying particulate, and adding this material has proven to be quite effective. Okay, at helping retard the transmission of dust is the bottom line. It's inexpensive, it's easy to put on, and it works, and that's the bottom line. So whether it's intended application, probably a smoke and draft control application like in a hotel, or it's anything that you can think of and anything in between, the stuff's great. It's cheap, it's good, it's effective, it's easy to put on. Soft, low temperature capability if you're going to install it in a window application. Low compression, outstanding memory for consistent long-term ceiling pressure. It's unaffected by sunlight, ozone, and ultraviolet rays. That's really important if it's going to get exposure to sunlight. Fatigue resistance is part and parcel of this material as well. Now, the installation of it, there is a link below this video to a document called Installation. It is literally the packaging that you'll get the material in. And if you'll just take note of where you apply it, it doesn't go on the same place on all three sides of the door. The lock side, the header and the lock jamb, it's going to be applied to the face of the stop so that when the door closes, it will make contact with the material. I mean, it would more so look like this. It will make contact with the door. Okay. If it's going to be on the hinge side, you're going to mount it on the rabbet so that when the door closes, the heel of the door just compresses up against it, hitting it like this, and just closing it off. Now, the installation instructions are they are actually on, it's a 2-page sort of document. The other side of the page will give you the steps about going about installing the material. Now, it has to be installed on clean, dry frames where you're between 50 and 100 degrees Fahrenheit. That's number one. The surface temperature of the material that you're applying it to must be compatible with the adhesive that's on the backside. So, temperature, important. Clean and free of debris. Ultra critical, absolutely critical. Some manufacturers include an alcohol pad with their material. Reese does not. I can't say of exactly why that's the case, except to say this. How you accomplish making the frame utterly clean and free of dust and debris is how you do it. But if it's not, you'll come to the job the next day and it's likely you'll have a failure of the installation. Clean it to the point where you know it's clean. Trust me, do it one more time. If you do that, you're going to experience outrageous success in the installation. If you don't, the first time you do it, you'll realize, oh gosh, I've got to make it really clean. So that's really important, is the bottom line. After that, you're going to want to cut step 2 of the installation instructions. You're going to want to cut the material to length first. Your header, your lock side, your hinge side. Cut those pieces to length. Here's why. Measure and cut. Here's why. When you put it on the frame, if it's too long, when you get to the end of pulling away the adhesive and applying it, you know that you've stretched it. That's bad. Now, while the adhesive that's on here is incredibly strong, okay, it's going to resume its natural elasticity. So if you've stretched it as you're putting it on, it'll fail. So keep that in mind. Immediately pull off and reset should that be necessary. I like to pull the material about 1 foot of the paper. I don't want to expose too much. I don't want to unintentionally bump it on the frame, and I don't want particulate in the air to be touching it prematurely. Lots of pressure, just straight down all the way. No rolling it down, just straight, significant pressure. Do that all the way. Apply it to the frame as it's shown in the installation instructions. Lock and head side on the stop face, hinge side on the rabbet, and you'll be in good shape. Obviously, it's a double door. You don't have a lock side. Operate the door several times to make sure that it works and that you've not inhibited the proper closing of the door, meaning this is likely a fire-rated door. If the addition of the smoke and draft control gasket has impeded the door's ability to latch, not only close but latch, which are required for a fire door, you don't have a fire-rated door anymore. So be sure of making that work correctly. Do not install in a continuous piece. That's why we said to cut the pieces to length. Those inside corners naturally would fail on you. So, the bottom line is free of dust and debris. Don't stretch. Lots of pressure, and you're in great shape with the installation procedure of this material. Like I said earlier, I like to use this in lots of places because of how inexpensive and easy it is to install. Patience I find to be the best friend when you're installing this material, because if you've got wavy lines during your installation process, well, no one may matter, but there's nothing but straight lines on a steel frame. And you'll notice someone that's done a rushed job, and by extension a rushed job is a poor job. So patience and just pressure, and cut your pieces to length, don't stretch it out. So finally, there is a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Reese products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, along with a link to the full product catalog. I'm partial to Reese, and it's because of excellent quality material, excellent customer service, prompt, reliable shipping lead times that are industry setting in terms of time. If you have any questions on the Reese number 797W, roll of teardrop-shaped smoke and draft and fire and acoustically rated gasketing, or any other Reese product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.